Hello there. It is Monday, the 26th of July, 2021. I've been away in Scotland for a few days, scouting it out, ready to get the hell out of this stupid, godforsaken country as soon as I'm able. But in the meantime, I'd just like to say a big hello and thanks for joining me to everyone who's here. Obviously, if you weren't watching on Wednesday, you might not have known that I was going to come back and do a 10 o'clock show today, and I'll be doing a 10 o'clock show tomorrow and possibly a daytime show on Wednesday. It's going to get confusing. So if you would like to subscribe, now's the time to do it, because you will get a little, if you hit the bell notification icon, you'll get a little ping on your phone to let you know when I'm going live. And I won't do that annoying thing of setting up hours in advance, so you get a ping then, and then you get another ping half an hour before I come on, and then another ping when I'm actually on. It's really annoying. I know. I won't do that. Don't worry. I'll just come on, and you got 5 minutes to test screen until I will actually miraculously appear. And so, who have we got today? We've got quite a few people turned up today, which is good. We've got Pineapple Boy saying, "Ooh, Graham is back. Was worried Priti Patel's secret police had made him disappear." John Barleycorn says hello. Lee Corn says, "Guess who's back? Back again. Hughes is back." Pineapple Boy, Graham, we missed you. Oh, thank you. Jeremy Goff says, "Happy Monday." Lee Corn, tell a friend. Pass it on. Patrick McCarthy says, "I feel dirty and contagious. I feel like shit and look like plastic, but I'll get through." Enter the God says, "Hello all." Martin says, "Evening, Graham." Umka says, "Hi there." Context is saying, "Hello, everyone." Stanley Beckett, the boy is back in town just for a couple of days, and then I'm actually going back to Scotland. So we were up in Selkirk. Not Selkirk. Shit. Where were we? Oh, Christ. This is embarrassing. Clackmannanshire. And we were in Falkirk, not Selkirk. We were in Falkirk, and we went to see the Kelpies, which are fantastic. Part of the canal network. The canal goes between the two horses. And I was just spitting feathers about the fact that Liverpool has just lost its UNESCO World Heritage Site, because instead of investing in things like the Kelpies, we invested in things like boxes, horrible black boxes to put next door to these Grade 1 listed buildings, the Three Graces, down by the pier head. We put some boxes next to them. One of the boxes actually won the Carbuncle Cup in 2011. The Carbuncle Cup is awarded to the ugliest building to have been built in the whole of Britain, which, you know, there's quite a fierce competition for that. And I had some wanker going, "Oh, if only they had built Will Alsop's The Cloud." So for those of you who don't know, back in the 2000s, so the noughties, there was this architect called Will Alsop, who was from Northampton. I don't think he'd ever been to Liverpool. I don't know. Maybe he had, but on holiday or something. He wasn't educated in Liverpool. I don't know if he had any ties to the city whatsoever. But he designed a building that looked like someone had tried to make Slimer from the Ghostbusters out of glass. Hey, imagine Slimer from the Ghostbusters, then imagine him made out of glass and absolutely freaking massive, and a building. And that was going to go right next to the Three Graces, the aforementioned Grade 1 listed buildings in the Liverpool pier head. And at the time, it was put forward to public consultation, and we had a competition, and we got to vote on it. I voted. And the Cloud came last. The Cloud came last out of all of the entries. And so they decided to go with the Cloud. But it never got built because Liverpool City Council is nothing but, if not incompetent. So that's a good thing in a way. It was like, we're going to have trams. Oh, no, we're not going to have trams. We're going to buy all the tram tracks, the actual rails, and we just leave them in a warehouse somewhere, rotting away. We only needed £7 million off the government to do the tram setup, and we couldn't get it because the government at the time just said, no, we're not paying for that. And you look back on it now thinking, 7 million. You could have got 150 million for just saying that you had some PPE that you didn't really have. And the government would have gone, here you go. Right, if you made it with the government. Anyway, point being, this building, the Cloud by Will Alsop, who died a couple of years ago, by the way. And they say you shouldn't speak ill of the dead, which I just think is stupid because, you know, they can't take offence and they can't sue. But it was crap. It was fucking awful. It was a fucking eyesore. But worse than that, nothing to do with Liverpool. Absolutely nothing. There's such a rich heritage in Liverpool. The seafaring, the boat building, the mercantile trade, the leaving of Liverpool, the millions of people who left Europe, not just Britain, but Europe, to go to the New World or go to Australia and set up roots there, came out of Liverpool. They left the UK from Liverpool. And the music and the football. So you've got this maritime history, you've got the football, you've got the music. I mean, a cloud. A fucking cloud. Are you kidding me? What's that? What's that got to do with Liverpool? Everywhere's got clouds. Nowhere else has got the Beatles. So yes, infuriating to say the least. But yeah, apparently if we had got that ugly shit building put in the place of the ugly shit buildings that did end up getting built, then we wouldn't have lost our UNESCO World Heritage listing. It's bullshit. We would have lost it anyway because we had built a load of shit in front of buildings that were gorgeous. And so I was like, well, what do you think of the Philharmonic Hall? You know, that was revolutionary in its day because it was built in the 30s. Well, first of all, it's fantastic. It's a great Art Deco building, the Philharmonic Hall, the new Philharmonic Hall. I think the old one burnt down or something, but they built a new one in the 30s. And the architect of it was a Scouser. He was from Liverpool, just like the architect of the old infirmary and the Victoria building of Liverpool University. Waterhouse, his name was. Alfred Waterhouse, there you go. And he also designed Manchester Town Hall. And he also designed Manchester the Owens building of Manchester University as well. Very talented man. And he was born in Egbert, mate. So, you know, like bloody Lister in Red Dwarf and the Egbert Arms. Right, next, Stonehenge is next to go off there. Yeah, because they're building a fucking tunnel. I mean, just... It's mind-blowing, isn't it? It's like, and that fat shite chippy tits, Joe Anderson, our old mayor, he said about the UNESCO World Heritage listing as being a nice certificate on the wall. What a condescending prick. What an arrogant arsehole. And it was a really interesting article, actually, that came out over the weekend in The Guardian, and it was about the mafia and their love affair with brutalist architecture in South Italy in the 50s, 60s and 70s, and how they destroyed so much Italian heritage and built this shite in its place, this brutalist shite. Brutalism is internationalist in a bad way because it encapsulates no culture or no story or no tales of the place where it is positioned. And I make this argument again and again. You could pick up any modern brutalist building and you could pick it up from Brasilia and you could put it down in Milton Keynes and no one would go, whoa, that building looks a bit Brazilian. No, they'll go, oh, it looks like a public library in Milton Keynes. Or a shopping mall from the 1960s. Hey, shopping malls, eh? You've seen them? What, shopping centres? You've seen one? You've seen them all. It's from the Muppets, that, when Fozzie's trying to torture someone with terrible, terrible jokes. Fozzie Bear is actually my role model, got to say. He's my Svengali. Anyway, right. So, wow, I've just ignored you for a long time, so I'm going to have to get back on to saying hello. Really good news, by the way. Tom Daley won a gold today in the Olympics, which is fantastic. And two other Brits won gold as well, which is fantastic. TBGB, it's a really, moving thing. It's great. It's called it Record Breakers today, the show, because, not because of that, but because of the temperature records that we keep breaking, and the flooding records, and the forest fire records, and the destruction of the rainforest records, and the destruction of the Great Barrier Reef records, and the amount of plastic pollutants in the sea records, and the amount of dead fish, and the amount of... You see what I mean? You see what I'm getting at? We're breaking all the records, but they're bad records to break. They're records that you don't want to break year after year after year. And London, as we saw today, is woefully unprepared for climate change. It's just, it's not set up for climate change. It really fucking isn't in any way, shape or form. Ginger Island is better set against climate change than London. Can you believe it? Ginger Island? Like, seriously, it's better set up. Because at least we can just dump more soil on it until we build it up. The mangrove trees will grow. And yeah, as long as we don't get like 2 meters of extra water in a year, sea level rising, which I don't think we will, we should be all right. Fingers crossed. Anyway, back into the messages. Sorry, I went off on one there. I feel dirty and contagious. Bayer says morning. Unka says, how are you doing there? How are the unicorns looking? The unicorns are fine. They're cannibal unicorns. They keep eating each other. Kind of a bit sick. Ripping each other's throat out with their really large teeth. Hello, and like gouging each other with their horns. Why do you think they have the horns? So they can gouge other unicorns. True story. Scotland, freedom! Indeed. Pineapple Boy. I went to the Wallace Monument. Wallace Monument. That was good. The climb to the top. That was cool. And cancelled all the stairs all the way up. And also went to the wheel. The canal wheel. which is fantastic. It's just very clever. It takes, so what it is, it's the two canals, right? And there's a massive 100 feet drop between one and the other, right? Say about 100 feet, something like that. And before the 1930s, there used to be a series of like 14 locks or something to get from this canal to that canal, because it was such a different level of watercourse, and it would take all day to get a boat just through it one way. And so in the 90s, one of the Millennium Commission things where they said, look, it's going to have a millennium, let's do some things for the millennium. So they built the Millennium Stadium, Cardiff, they built the O2 in London, they did this, they did the blinking eye bridge in Newcastle, which is quite cool, and they did this setup in Falkirk. And so what it is, it's not far from the Kelpies, and it's the same canals, or same one of the canals, and the way it works is it uses gravity to pull down one, and then it pushes up the other. So they put a little bit more water, I think, in the top one than in the bottom one, and it only takes the same amount of energy from 12 kettles to pick up a boat. Imagine a boat in a trough, right? And then a boat at the top in another trough. This is a full-size narrow boat on the canal, and it rotates, and it puts the bottom one at the top and the top one at the bottom, and 12 kettles, the equivalent power of 12 kettles, which is amazing. And I'm looking at this thing, and there's so many. They've got a mini golf, they've got like pasta pizza place, and there's loads of people there, kids running around splashing in the water. Oh, it's great. And I'm just sitting there in green with envy, thinking, I'm enjoying myself. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting there going, I'm really angry. But no, afterwards, just thinking, why the hell didn't we do that in Liverpool? We've got the Leeds to Liverpool Canal, which runs through North Liverpool. It runs from the Stanley Tobacco Warehouse, and it continues up. Now, it's been extended into the Albert Dock in recent years, but I'm thinking about the way it goes up to the north of Liverpool, which is an area that is in desperate need of regeneration anyway. Why didn't we do stuff like that for our canal? Or just anything, just public art, just things? No, boxes. It's all because of the fucking mafia, and drug dealers and brutalism go together like bastards. Anyway, so there you go. I'm envious of Graham's anger management person. Penthouse should be all paid for before Graham reaches 45. Indeed. If I had some money to pay them, I would. Talking of money, listen, I'm back for a few days. If you like what you see, if you're enjoying the conversation and you're taking part, then feel free to throw a super chat in, because obviously that's the fuel that keeps me going these days. Don't work on solar power. Big question for you. Can you get not a big question, but just a question. Can you get solar panels for your phone? You know, like on an old calculator, you used to get a little solar thing on it, and you put your finger over the solar thing, and then the numbers would disappear when you put your finger. You remember that? Yeah. Why can't you get that for the back of your phone? In fact, why don't they just make phones with solar on the back? So when you're in a field, camping in Scotland, and you've got no access to power, and your power packs have all run out after 4 days, you can just sort of stand it up in the field, like, or leave it like that in the sun, and it just does a bit of a trickle charge, and then you got enough to, I don't know, call an ambulance or play Snake or whatever people use their phones for these days. Oh, £5 super chat. See? Good job that I said that, because you might have forgotten. Patrick McCarthy in there with a £5 super chat. Thank you, Patrick. You're a legend. The flooding in London is what you get when you build on a floodplain, Lee Valley, and allow people to pave over front gardens so water has nowhere to go, plus a Victorian drainage system. Yep. Designed by the great Joseph Basil Jetty, who is one of my favourite architectural engineers of all time. He designed 2 of London's bridges, I think, and the embankment, and the sewage system. Ahead of his time, he was. But London's sewage system was meant to deal with London sewage and a bit of rain, a bit of drizzle, now and again. London fog, pea supers. Wasn't designed to deal with tropical levels of rainfall. And I've lived somewhere for 3 years where the rainfall was 3.5 meters per year. 3,500 millimeters per year. Falls on Bocas del Toro. Falls on Ginger Island. And I'm like, yeah, this is what happens. You need to get rid of it. You need to get rid of it as quickly as possible. But nowhere to go. And you've got all the underground as well, which gets flooded. Yeah. And so now they're going to have to use more power pumping out these tunnels to go underground. It's deep level tunnels. Yeah, more power, more of electricity, possibly more gas, more coal. It's difficult. Anyway, phones. Did anyone get back to me on that one? You can get solar cases for mobiles. Oh, I'm getting one of them. That sounds boss. You can get a solar cell backpack. I don't want a backpack, Wayne. I just want it on my phone. I want it as part of my phone. When I buy my phone, I want the back of it, which is generally useless. All it does is smash. On my phone, if I take it out of its cover, you will see just how smashed up the back of my phone is there. Yeah, all it does is break, right? Instead of doing that, why not make it useful? Turn it into a solar panel. I'm going to charge my phone without having to plug it in anywhere. Mike Lambert's latest video is over 40 minutes long. He needs to cut them down a bit. Lee, I'm not one to talk, mate. All my videos are like an hour or so long. African or European kettle. Well, there you go. A 2 kilowatt kettle or a 1.5 kilowatt kettle? I don't know. Do they still sell metal Mickey sweets at the shop at the bottom of Wallace Monument? They did back in 1982. I don't know. That's really bad, isn't it? I also went to the house of the old lady who was the last living descendant, or married to the last living descendant of Robert the Bruce, and there's a house there, and it's like, it's a bit spooky. It's a bit of a castle. It's small windows, and half of it fell down because of mining in like the 1930s, but they fixed it up. But like, it's all boarded up. And they open it up now and again because no one wants to live there and like just keep an eye on it. And if they open it up, obviously it got vandalized. In fact, found out that the Falkirk wheel, the canal thing, it was actually vandalized before it was supposed to open. It was one of the reasons why the opening of it was delayed. And they caused like £1 million worth of damage or something. They just got in and smashed a load of stuff up. You tit, when is your phone facing the sun? It's in your pocket. Thus, the solar power backpack is key. Think about it, you melt. Says Wayne in Basildon, like some kind of Essex person. It is Essex, isn't it? Whatever, mate. You know, I'm talking about when you're out and about and you just put your phone on the table because you're talking to your mates over a nice latte in the sun, and it's just quietly making its own electricity. Its own little bits of electricity is just bubbling away inside your phone like fucking magic, mate. That's what I want. That's what I want. Basil Jet was the god's grandson of a French immigrant. Blooming foreigners coming over here, making things better for everyone. Yeah, bloody Basil Jet. Remember the first gift of our lottery money bought? Winston Churchill's diaries for the nation. Second gift, a bung for the Royal Opera House. Yeah, I remember that. Or something like that. Look, I didn't have a problem. Look, if you're going to preserve culture and sport, do it all. Do it all. Do the high stuff. Do the low stuff. Do everything in between. Just do it all. That's my view on it. Just give us a good write-up. Tell us what you need and what you need the money for, and the money gets allocated. And the lottery has paid for a lot of good things. But to be honest with you, it's a bit sad that it has to be a lottery in order to get people to actually give money to something. But we could do that with tax, you know. We could do it where every day for the year someone wins £1 million on the tax or something. And it will still cost less than anything we did with PPE. And then people will pay tax because they'd only qualify for the draw, the £1 million draw, every day if they pay tax, if they pay the right amount of tax. Thomas Page, £5 super chat. Woo! If you like the Falkirk boat lift, you'll like the Anderton boat lift in Cheshire, built in 1875, and is the only other boat lift in the UK. Check it, says Thomas. I actually read about that while I was at the Falkirk Wheel. It said there's only one other one of these in the UK, and it's in Cheshire. So yes, it's not far from me in Liverpool when I'm there. So yes, I will be popping back to Liverpool next week as well. So I'm going to be all over the place, but I am going to take a green curtain with me. Taking a green curtain, so I should be able to do my show anywhere. Taking my microphone, and I'm driving. I would take a train, possibly because a company's paying for it, and it's nicer to take the train, and I hate driving. I've driven for, Christ, 5 hours today, I think. I drove from Falkirk to Edinburgh. We had a mooch around Edinburgh, went to the Royal Mile, The girls moaned about their feet hurting, so we walked all the way back. But at least we got to the Harry Potter shop and not buy anything. That was great. And then we went to Berwick upon Tweed, and had a walk around the city walls. I didn't know Berwick had city walls because I've never really been there before. I've been through on the train a lot of times and gone, ooh, that looks nice, but never actually sort of walked about in Berwick. So now I have officially walked about in Berwick, and then I drove back to Durham. And then I came before you, laden with this posh beer. Look at this. I've got Peroni. I was given this. I was given this by the husband of Catherine's mate, who said, "You look like you need some beer, Graham," and he gave me a pack of Peroni. Now I know how the other half lives. This is amazing. So it's all good. But yeah, Scotland. Oh my God. Can I just talk about Scotland for the next sort of 35 minutes? Or is that going to get... I'm supposed to be talking about the news, aren't I? Scotland's awesome. It's just great. A lot of junkies, though, in Edinburgh. Jesus Christ. Train spotting. They weren't making that up, were they? Wow. North Berwick or Berwick upon Tweed? Berwick upon Tweed, my friend. Berwick upon Tweed. Not North Berwick, because that's definitely in Scotland. I wonder the story about that. So North Berwick is right up on the coast, well inside Scotland. And I think because they lost Berwick upon Tweed, they were like, we're gonna have a new town. We're gonna call it Berwick, and fuck you all. And we're still gonna own Berwick. Berwick's always gonna be Scottish, which I thought was quite cool. Anyway, so there are foldable small solar panels for camping with 2 USB connectors when you're hiking. Have it on your backpack. Yeah, I've used them. I've used those things. I'm just saying, if you had a little solar cell integrated on the back of mobile phones, it would be useful. I mean, I'm not saying like everyone would use it to charge it all the time, but you know, if you're at a festival or you're just spending the day having a picnic or something, and you can just put your phone down and it just charges up from the sun, that would be a good thing, I think. Just a little solar panel, you know, a little trickle charge thing, but it's embedded in the phone, so it just directly charges from that. You don't have to get some kit and plug it in and have wires and cables and all pockets and a bag and all that kind of shit. You just have your phone. That's it. You have your phone. And do you know what? You could just take it out of your case when you need to use it and just leave it on, you know, face down with the solar panel. Or maybe you could get clear solar power glass and you can have it on the front. No, I don't think that would work. Okay, so moving swiftly on. I've missed loads of messages, didn't I? Patrick Baker, Basildon, King of Newtown. Blech. Patrick Baker, info for anyone interested. I work in a warehouse for a major supermarket. There is no pingdemic. We have plenty of workers, but no lorry drivers. Well done. Brexit! Yeah, Patrick, figured that, mate. I'm sorry, man. Just really sucks, doesn't it? Remember, Scotland, freedom. Hey-oh, evening all. Just having a look at the messages. Sings, I took a trip on a government ship 10,000 miles away. Stonehenge is next to go off the list. You ain't missed much, Graham, except Dawn Butler calling Bodge a liar in Parliament. That was beautiful, wasn't it? That was beautiful. She just says she's a liar. And she says, you got to take that back or you have to get out. And she went, okay. She got out. Brilliant. What the Labour Party should do now as a stunt is just say, yeah, one by one, they should stand up and say, I would like it to be known that Boris Johnson is a liar. Get thrown out the chamber. I'd like it to be known that Boris Johnson is a liar. Get thrown out the chamber. I'd like it to be known that Boris... And that's it. That's it. You just get all thrown out. Like, you only get thrown out for a day. It's not like you lose your job or nothing. Central Milton Keynes is turning into Gotham. Too many tall buildings being put up. Well, that's another thing in Liverpool. We started getting these little shitty skyscrapers. They weren't skyscrapers. They were sky scratchers. They were just fucking pieces of shit. And they always had a box on top that was slightly bigger than the rest of the building, which really annoyed me. I don't know. I think the things should taper. One of my little peccadillos, right, about architecture is that if it doesn't reflect nature, it doesn't reflect the society, the culture, the values of the people who live in the place that it lives in. All it is a big masturbatory aid for fucking arrogant architects. Male architects, by the way. Always fucking male architects. Name me a female architect. Go on. Without Googling it. Go on. Female architect now. Exactly. Why is that? Well, because they're just like men like drawing down penises and living at the top of them like the fucking, you know, Dr. Evil dickhead. And they do it all over the world. It's just this arrogance of architects. Like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm an architect. I just studied for 7 years. It is quicker to become a doctor. I'm like, yeah, doctors don't. I don't think doctors put things up in cities that force every fucker to look at them. And if you're like me and you're the kind of person who gets pissed off when they hear a song that is terrible and it will put them in a bad mood for the rest of the day, that happens to me a lot. I'm a music Nazi and this music is not good. But when I see a horrible building, it annoys me. I'm like, oh, okay, I've got a negative emotion there. Why is that building so fucking ugly? It's why I hate spending time in Manchester these days, because that Beaton Tower piece of shit, which the architect lives at the top of, by the way. From a certain angle, it looks like it's been blown out by a nuclear blast. And people go, oh, yeah, I like it. Why? Because it's fucking ugly. It's a big eyesore. I love it. I love big eyesores. Why couldn't they make it nice? And again, it's small at the bottom, and then it goes out bigger at the top, which just makes it all look a bit uncomfortable. It looks like it's going to fall over. It kind of puts me on edge just looking at it. And I think, what the fuck? You don't see that in nature. You don't see termite nests that get bigger at the top, do you? Maybe a stalagmite, if it was coming down, from the ceiling, I suppose it gets bigger at the top. But nothing coming up from the ground that I can think of. Trees tend to be big at the bottom and get smaller as they go up and more spread out. No. I mean by trees, I mean the trunks and the branches. I don't mean like there's a trunk that goes up and then it splits into two equally massive trunks and they go up. It'll look a bit weird. I think it would anyway. If anyone finds empty shelves in Sainsbury's, they're deliberately slowing down work in the warehouse. Workers twiddling their thumbs, doing nothing because they can't deliver to the store. You can get solar cases for mobiles. Good. I'm going to get the solar case. Can I call in? Says Wayne. Oh, I don't know. I was going to talk about the climate today. I put my climate reality thing up as well. I didn't put my fade on actually, so that looks a bit crap with the text coming out the top. There you go. Text is not coming out the top anymore. It quietly fades away. See that design? Right. Let's see if I can sort this out so Wayne can call me. He's just going to ring up and make scouse jokes, isn't he? Well, I've got to say, right. Is it just me, or of like a lifetime of Guy Ritchie films made you, whenever you hear a Cockney accent these days, don't you think like bank robber? Don't you think like white boy gangster? When I hear a Cockney accent, that's what I think. Is that Cockneyist? I hope so. Right. So I don't know where I'm going here. Where am I going? Oh, I need to have I need to plug my magic box in. Oh, you're very lucky. I've got all my things prepped, considering I've just got back from me jolly bops. Right, so let's see if this works then. Go on, Wayne, do your worst. Give us a call. Call me on WhatsApp or just on my normal number. Please don't call me through stereo because it seems to be a bit ropey sometimes. 432 Park Avenue in New York is another eyesore. What's the show logo for the architecture rant? I don't know. I should make one. Got to think of a snappy title for my architecture rants. So this is just shitty architecture. Just lazy architecture. I'm going to play some music. I hope you can't hear it, because if it does, YouTube's going to cut my sound. Just to make sure that this is working. Oh, it's working. I was playing the intro to Sparky's Dream by Teenage Fan Club. That's a blast from the past, isn't it? Right, so... Oh, no, I don't want to press that. What am I pressing that for? Okay, Wayne, call whenever you like, mate. I'm all set up. I'm ready for you. I don't know if anyone else is, but I'm ready for you. Vattel is a dangerous bully. Darren Christian saying, have you checked out Michael Lambert's latest video yet? No, I haven't, but it sounds like a good plan. Honestly, I've just got back. We haven't even unpacked yet, so... Give me a me. Solar panels aren't terribly efficient, with efficiency typically sitting below 20%. So it was 2 watts of actual power in perfect weather. Yeah? And I said it was just trickle charge. Okay. Is that a Wayne? Do we have a Wayne? Is there a Wayne there? Hello, mate.
We do have a Wayne.
Hello,
mate. You alright?
Yeah. You know, I've got a bit of sun. I've got my arms have got like massively freckly.
Wow.
from the Scottish sun.
Well done you. I'm rocking this thing called a permatan.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I'm just brown all the time.
Oh, you lucky bastard. That must come with so many perks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Possibly not in in this
Judgment.
God's forsaken fucking country. But yes, indeed. So we got this. We got some people that talk about architecture. Barcelona has the finest architecture in the world. Gaudi. I love Gaudi architecture. I mean, he was a Barcelonan, wasn't he? He was a proper Catalonian, and he designed buildings that were not an affront to nature. They reflected nature, which is nice. He made the Sagrada Familia.
That's exactly in tune with my research into that.
Yes, good. So how are you doing? What do you think? What do you think of Dawn Butler's statement that Boris Johnson's a liar? I mean, how dare she tell the truth in Parliament? Get out! Stop telling the truth! Stop telling it like it is.
I think it's an archaic rule, and she was 100% true and correct in what she said. But the problem is, the rules are the rules. So she was ejected fairly when it comes to the rules. So we can't really say fairer than that, can we? Unless we say we need to change the rules. But if we say we need to change the rules, that means that we're sort of cherry picking certain rules to fit our agenda.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? She was bang on. She was being maverick for what she did, but
she knew exactly what she was doing. I do think. What do you think Labour should do? What would you advise if you were advising Labour? What would you tell them to do? Not that they can afford advisors these days, because they're nearly fucking bankrupt. But if they could and they paid you, what would you say, Labour? This is what you need to do in response to Dawn Butler's ejection from the House of Commons.
I would say to our Knight of the Realm, Sir Keir, no, get full square behind her and just say, no, I can't say it in the chamber, but I'm going to say it. Yes, he's a liar. Even today on LBC, he dodged it by saying he says untruths. He didn't call him a liar. I'm like, you're not in the chamber, mate. Just call him a fucking liar.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
So he's a liar. I'm fully behind our...
Parliament's closed for the summer now, hasn't it? So you can't do it in Parliament.
Yeah.
So was this a bit like on the last day of school where you set the fire alarms off?
Who does that?
Well, I don't know. People did that, didn't they? In school, someone would always set the fire alarm off on the last day. So it was like, oh, it's the last day of Parliament. Fuck it, Boris is a liar.
Yeah, Boris is a liar. Mic drop the match.
Yeah.
Walk away. but someone, I don't know if anyone's listening who can do it, but needs to do the get Dawn's face on the Joker walking away from the hospital.
Oh, the hospital blowing up. Pressing the button. Boris is a liar. Boris, the liar button. Liar. So yeah. So
where have you been?
Been to Scotland. Falkirk, mate. Been to Falkirk.
What are you doing up there?
Well, this weekend was supposed to be Blue Dot Festival, and then they cancelled it again. So we wanted to do something with the girls, like camping. So we went camping in Scotland, and Catherine's got a friend up there, so we went to visit a mate who's recently moved and is having a boss time. And to be honest with you, I can't say enough nice things about Scotland. It's gorgeous. The weather was amazing. The sunsets were amazing. Food was really good. You've sold yourself well, Scotland. I think I'm definitely going back. Well, I'm actually going back on Wednesday. Wednesday evening.
Dude, I 100% agree with you. I've been to Scotland like 3-4 times now, and the one time that I really appreciated the culture was I went with my mate Scott from Five, and we took in all the local delicacies. Everything was yellow.
Yeah. Well, I had deep fried haggis today. Yeah, it was really good actually.
We went to we was in St George's Square. We went to the local chip shop under our hotel, and everything came out exactly the same colour.
Yeah.
There is a picture on my Instagram. I'm gonna send you it after this. It's basically from pie
Yeah.
chips, battered sausage, the Cornish pasty.
Bloody hell.
Everything is the same colour.
I just got a
Oh, a deep
message.
fried Mars bar.
Just got a message from Pooh, who lives just up the coast from Ginger Island, but in Costa Rica. So not in Panama, but in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Having bad flooding here on the Caribbean coast. They can't get aid to the Panamanian border. Main road to San Jose has been down for a couple of days now, and bridges collapsing. Shit! That's how Marcus and I are planning to get to Ginger Island in September. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on the situation there. But yeah, this is exactly what the scientists said would happen 30 years ago. 30 years ago. I can't remember a time in my life that global warming wasn't a thing. I can specifically remember watching an episode of Tomorrow's World where they were talking about climate change, and it must have been the 80s. It must have been the 80s. It must have been like 88 or 89. And they were saying that you should, little things, turn the light off when you leave a room. Don't leave the tap running when you're brushing your teeth. It's just like, yeah, I guess it does help. Every little helps. But when 90% of the pollutants in the world are being caused by a handful of companies that just pollute the shit out the world because the fines are less than they have to pay to actually clean their act up. So they just keep paying the fines.
Yeah. Well, look at the Eye of Sauron just the other week in the sea. What is that about?
Oh, where the sea was on fire. God.
And they were spraying water on it. It's like you're spraying water on the ocean to put a fire. I'm sitting there like, I don't know how to get around this. Like, my head couldn't work this out. There's fire coming from the sea, and you're spraying water on it. It's a madness.
Yeah,
a madness.
Well, I called the show today Record Breakers because we keep breaking all these horrific records, like the way that we are deforesting the planet at the moment. And Britain has been deforested years ago. We need to be planting trees. I mean, this isn't something that should be some celebrity fucking chef or something to push for getting this done. This should be a government initiative to get people out, going to the countryside and setting up and do it on like a war footing, because we're going to get smashed by this. I call the generation that's just been born like in the last 10 years, Generation F, fucked. Generation fucked. They're absolutely fucked from the start. And what they're going to have to put up with in their life is going to be a fucking nightmare unless we do something about it now.
The thing is, Graham, it's unless there's profit in it, there is not going to be the motivation for big companies. Look at Jeff Bezos the other day, for fuck's sake.
Going up into space in his massive penis.
Yeah, he's going up into space and he's got his employees on pick orders, pissing in bottles and, scared to go to a toilet.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I don't know.
Have a word with yourself. This is where the ecology of our economy has been skewered so far one way.
Yeah.
Like we're all about, I want to buy something and I want it delivered tomorrow, but then you don't give a shit about the person that's picking and packing that particular order. And then when that person who is picking and packing has been outstripped by a robot that can do it faster, they're now out of a job and they're on the dole. What are you going to do about them people?
Well, universal basic income. Universal basic income.
UBI,
that will change everything.
Yeah, but UBI can go one of two ways. It can go Matrix or it can go Star Trek Next Generation.
Why would it go Matrix? Take me on that journey.
Okay, well, if you are not, you are a battery. You need to contribute to this whole thing. So, if your energy, say for instance, to power these warehouses means that we've created this lovely little gym. You can just get on the treadmill and have a little run about, and you can lift the weights and create little dynamos that power these machines.
Human-powered machines.
That benefits you.
We've got all this power from the sun and the wind and tides And nuclear at a pinch.
So,
I mean, we don't really need people running around hamster wheels. That's not something that needs to be part and parcel for UBI. But what you would have is a lot of people who previously have been trapped by circumstance to not be able to be entrepreneurs, not be able to be singers, dancers, mathematicians, whatever they wanted to be in life. Theoretical physicists, it doesn't pay very well. It really doesn't pay very well. And it's why you see time and time again, the people who make it as actors, the people who make it as Olympic yachtsmen and women, and the people who make it in, Wimbledon and all that, they all were born into money. Because it's only the people who are born into money who have the opportunity to just do that thing for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years with no money. And then finally they'll
100% agree with you.
They'll hit the pay dirt. The rest of us, we can't fucking do that. If we tried to do that, we'd be out in the streets. And that's what universal basic income would change.
Yeah. How many people do you know that are in big media companies like the BBC, Global, ITV, that have started there through unpaid internships?
Yes, all of them.
In central London.
Yes. Which you can only do if you're rich.
Exactly. So UBI in itself will level that playing field. But the problem is, if you introduce UBI, that means everyone's entitled to that. So these Tarquins and Cecils and all these other poncy names, they're going to get a look in.
Well, yeah, I complain about this all the time. You can't get an agent in this country unless you went to the right school and you know the agents because they all went to school together. Being on the outside is difficult, and the only shows that I've been able to be involved in and work on and produce whatever have always been in other countries. This country, it's like getting bloody blood out of a stone. I remember trying to just get, I just needed like £2,000, £2,000 to do a short film, to do like a little 20-minute film. I had the script of it now. I had the actors who were willing to work for free, and I probably filled out about 150 pages of forms to try and get that money, and I was still rejected. Now, if I just knew someone who was like, "Oh, here you go, Graham, here's £2,000," I'd be like, "Thanks, mate. Go and make me a little movie."
100%.
But I can't.
Graham, not to field produce you too much, but have a little look to your right and have a look at your chat, because there's probably a few things that have popped up in it.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about this then, because I was neglecting my chat. I'm very sorry. Although I have to say, if anyone drops a super chat in, I will say to Wayne, "Shut the fuck up, Wayne. We got a super chat."
Please.
So just so you know that. The government is now entirely unaccountable. This is from Phil Spicer. This kind of echoes what Michael Lambert's video earlier was saying. Descent into executive of absolute power. Indeed. We've got Alex Campbell saying, "Hello, I'm heading to Scotland next week. I'm sure with a name like Alexander Campbell, you will be very, very much welcomed. Perhaps not by the McDonald clan, but everybody else will welcome you with open arms." John Barleycorn says the government are that clever. Phil says, "Personally, I think Bezos' rocket looks more like Lilith. Lilith? What's a Lilith? Am I? Is that a Pokemon? 239 Timmy G said, "Never had that yellow Scottish food and I live here." Timmy, we're talking about deep fried food. That's what you're talking about, weren't you, Wayne? Scottish food, deep fried. Yeah. The deep fried sausages, deep fried haggis, deep fried pizza. Yeah, it's great. Patrick McCarthy, we need to be eco-anarchists, guerrilla gardening, planting trees everywhere, clearing trash, no waiting or asking for permission, just getting on with it. Yeah, Patrick, I really agree with this. This is a good thing that we could possibly do. I've spoken about this before. Get gangs of us, pro-EU types, with high-vis vests with "Keep Europe Tidy" written on the back, and we go out in teams and we litter pick around the country. Don't do any publicity. Don't ring the papers and say, "I'm going to go litter pick." Just go and do it. And people driving past will see you picking up litter, and they'll see... Go on.
Graham, maybe use the terms like groups rather than gangs, because otherwise it looks like you're doing community service.
Chain gangs. Yeah, all right.
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Groups.
So continue with your chat analysis.
Anthony Higgins says Scotland is too hot right now. I'm heading for Iceland. Scotland is bloody hot. Jesus. The last few days it's been very hot, but I believe it's going to piss down with rain tomorrow. So I got out just in time. But like I say, going back on Wednesday to Glasgow. So if anyone wants to meet up with us in Glasgow, I think we're going to stay the weekend, make a weekend out of it, since we're getting our transport paid for, which is good.
Aye.
What?
That was me saying yes in that was me saying yes in Scottish.
In Scottish.
I said aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. Extinction Rebellion had the wrong idea, according to John Barleycorn. Rather than just getting in people's way and causing problems, they should be looking to demonstrate how businesses can make money from being good to the environment. I don't know. I don't know if there is money to be made in that. I think they've got to get the government to put in rules to penalise companies that break the law when it comes to trashing the environment. But these big water companies, they'll continue to pour literal shit into our rivers and water streams because they get away with it. Like, they'll pay the fine because the fine costs less money to just pay than it costs to clear up their act. You know, you've seen Fight Club, haven't you, Wayne?
Yeah.
You know, the equation in Fight Club where they say he works for an automobile company and they find there's a fault with the car and they have to do an equation, and it's simply this is the amount that it will cost to pay out for the X many people who are going to get killed by this fault in compensation versus the cost of a recall. And if the cost of a recall, it turns out to be more than the cost of paying out to people who have died of this fault, they won't do a recall.
They leave it.
Yeah,
They leave it, yeah.
Which is exactly why these water companies will just pour shit into the coast around Britain because they've done the calculation. They've said, what's the maximum fine? It's like 70 million or something. Fuck that. Who cares? And the mad thing is, copyright fine is unlimited. So let me get this straight. You can pump literal radioactive sludge into our water stream, into our rivers, and you will face less of a fine.
It's called
than if you download, like, I don't know, the fucking Friends box set or something. Potentially.
Graham, I'll tell you how this works and how this can be fixed.
Okay, just hold that thought. Hold that thought, because Pineapple Boy has just thrown in 199 super chat. China planted a forest the size of Ireland. There you go. So thank you very much for that super chat, Pineapple Boy. Wayne, continue.
I'll tell you how this changes. If some absolute legend genius decides or invents a way that plastic becomes the new metal, as in the rag and bone man of plastic, that is when stuff will shift. When people are chucking out plastic the way that we do, the way we do metal, you put something in metal outside, you turn your back, it's gone. Right? If you put a plastic bottle down outside and you turn your back and it's gone, that's when we know we've reached peak environmentalism. Because what we need to
that's a unique view on it. I never really thought about that before. But the thing is though that plastic is made of oil, and it does have a limited shelf life because unlike metal, you can't just keep melting it down and putting it back together again eternally, which you can with metal, but you can't really do that with plastic.
Tell that to the world's oceans.
Well, no, the bottles in the oceans are not breaking down. I'm talking about if you want to recycle a bottle, you can only probably do it once or twice if you're very lucky.
They're breaking down. They're breaking down and being consumed by the aquatic life. There's been studies done on marine life that show that they have a massive amount of plastic within their system that are consumed by accident.
Yes, and then they shit it out and it's still there. You got microplastics. I mean, a huge proportion of the plastics in the ocean is microplastics, which is fucking things up.
Again, they're a byproduct of oil, which means it's a byproduct of petrol and diesel and
fossil
other
fuel.
kinds of fuels that we use. Yeah, every other fossil fuel that we use. So it's a byproduct. Now, what we need to do is we need to utilise that waste instead of using it as a commodity to house our drinks and our milk and our like. I'm just looking at my fridge right now. You know, like a butter container. Why is that plastic? Why
Yeah.
can't that be something where we can just go and have it like a glass
Well, there's a
container
simple way. There's a
and
simple
reuse
way
it?
that we can deal with this. Is the government need to do incentives and tax, like a plastic bag tax, well, plastic material packaging tax. If you put your fucking bananas in plastic, Jesus Christ, bananas in plastic? You kidding me? If you wrap your bananas in plastic, those bananas are going to cost more than bananas that are just loose.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it. The government put on a
you
5% tax, 5p tax or something.
you're relatively the same age as me.
Yes,
Okay,
relatively.
I've literally
I'm a little bit older
relatively.
and therefore massively wiser. I'm joking. I'm not really.
Fuck off with that. Fuck off with that. But we remember the milkman, right? So you'd order your X amount of pints of milk for the day. We used to have two. We'd have 2 pints of milk,
Yeah.
red top, and then once we'd done with our milk, we'd rinse them out, wash them, put them in the container. Milkman would replace them the next day.
And
That
what a
became
fantastic
economically-
bit of recycling. I mean, those bottles were not melted down to make new bottles. They just clean the fuckers. You know what they do in the pub when you have a pint? They don't smash the glass afterwards. They wash it and then put another pint in it. It's like you could do the same with milk, you know. Did you know that? But isn't that mad that like in the 1950s, a little guy going around in a milk cart, electric milk cart, Ernie or whatever he was called, and dropping these milk off at people's houses was more energy efficient and environmentally friendly than what we do now, which is just everything's plastic. Everything is wrapped in plastic. You can't get away with it. And one of the things that used to annoy me when I worked in bars is that we had to sort out bottles. We had to sort out bottles at the end of our shifts or the start of our next ones. And there were some companies that were really good about this, like Nuki Brown, I remember, were very good. That you would put the Nuki Brown back into the crates. The Nuki Brown people would take that away. They'd wash them out, put more Nuki Brown in. But then there were other companies that wouldn't accept the bottles back. So they just got smashed up and they got recycled. But think about the amount of energy you need to take smashed glass, melt it down, make new bottles out of it. It's more than 12 kettles, isn't it?
Yeah. And the thing is, we had a system then that worked and was energy efficient and was convenient also. Because you wake up, oh, look, there's new milk on my doorstep. Fantastic. Right? Instead, now what we're going to do, we've got to get in our cars, drive to the shop,
SUVs,
buy some milk in a SUV, get our milk from our plastic bottles, and that is non-recyclable.
Yeah, but there's
use our milk.
Why do SUVs exist? They're just big cars. They used to be called family cars. You know, like the Griswolds used to have in National Lampoon's Vacation. Why did they become SUVs? Do you know the story about this?
No, but if you use if you measure the cubic capacity of the interior of an SUV, it's no bigger than like a Focus or an Astra. It's the same shit.
Yeah,
it's just taller.
So an SUV was invented in America because they brought in emissions laws.
Let me bring people up to scratch. SUV means sports utility vehicle.
And it was invented in America because they brought in emissions rules about cars. So they brought out a new car that was a bit bigger and said, no, it's okay. This isn't a car. This is a sports utility vehicle. And that's how the SUV was born. To get around the rules about the amount of shit that your car could pump into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Into children's lungs. Directly.
So the federal government brought out a new rule and then moved the goalposts to accommodate.
Yes, which is what always happens. This happened with drugs, didn't it? Because they kept on trying to... they'll make this drug... There was a legal drug, and then they'll make it illegal, and then they'll just rename it and change the formula slightly. and go, well, this is a different drug. And they go, okay, well, we're gonna make that illegal then. And they went for like 50 different drugs, like spice and all that sort of stuff. Like, it was legal highs, and then suddenly, oh no, we can't have that. That's illegal now. And it just keeps going. They just keep changing the name. Kevin Hegarty says, money back on glass bottles to your local off license. Nice little learner as a kid back in the 80s, 10p a bottle. I remember it well. Schofield's Lemonade in Liverpool. All Shorts has turned up. All right, Marcus, we were talking about you earlier. A friend nurse had to remove a glass Coke bottle from a patient's bum. Is that reusable? Okay, top tip. If you're ever going to put a bottle up your bum, right, don't. Because it creates a vacuum. You see there's a hole in the top? Yeah, basically, you put that up your bum, create a vacuum. You won't be able to get it out your bum. You'll have to go to the hospital with a Peroni bottle up your bum, which is never a good thing.
Graham.
What?
Graham.
What?
What? I know you speak from experience.
Yes.
So
no. I meant no. But yes.
We appreciate this PSA.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was your PSA for the day. Never masturbate with a Coke bottle. So you get stuck up your bum. I hear that.
That's how it works.
Yeah, I had a friend who was a doctor. He is a doctor, and he was telling me about. I said, "Well, what are the maddest things that you've seen like stuck up people's bums?" And he was saying, "Oh, this, and this." And then he said, "But I think one of the maddest things was like there was a guy who came in and he had a catheter tube, and he had sort of lost the end of it down his urethra, right? And this happens. What? with people who have a catheter because up the hole at the end of your cock, and sometimes it'll go in too far and you lose the end of it. So they have to basically. This makes me cringe just thinking about it. They have to go in there with a pair of tweezers and pull it back out, right? Anyway, this guy who had come in while they were doing what they needed to do to get the catheter tube back out, he was cheerfully explaining that he liked to masturbate by putting the catheter tube in his cock, and that's how he ended up losing the end of it. He didn't actually need it for medical reasons. He just liked the feel of it going down. Okay, I'm going to change the subject now because it's just I'm just cringing too much. What the fuck, man?
Everyone needs a hobby.
Kevin Haggerty says every day is a school day. Phil says I've x-rayed people with rectal foreign bodies. The worst being a Dow Egbert's coffee jar. Oh my god. Never go full goatsy. Never go full goatsy. Yoni says moving swiftly on.
Dude, I don't even know how to process that. By the way, how is my audio? Because I'm on my Beats headphones and not on my mic.
What? What?
I said, how is my audio? Because I'm not on my mic.
Your audio, it sounds perfect to me. You sound like an angel, dripping nectar into my ears.
Whoa.
Kevin Haggerty says, "Oh dear God." Patrick McCarthy says, "Nightmares tonight." Who started this talking? This was all Marcus's fault. Oh my god, can you imagine what it's going to be like on Ginger Island? Oh my god. Audio is good. Subject dodgy. Patrick's wrong-footed us there. Go on.
I think I might be withdrawing the bin podcast from Ginger Island special.
Oh,
I'm doing an executive order.
Would you like to go through the papers with me? Would you like to go through the papers with me? It's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got tomorrow's papers today. So sorry everyone on the chat. I will come back to you. In fact, what I'll do, just to be very clever, if you want to throw a super chat in, I will come straight to you. But otherwise, I'm going to fill my screen up with tomorrow's papers today.uk, UK, or whatever the website is. Right, so screencast. Oh, well, that normally works, and it hasn't worked, so that sucks balls, doesn't it? That should work. Oh, there we go. And then I just have to do this. Sorry, technical shit. All right.
That's right. I can't see any of this because I'm away from my phone because it's
Oh,
charging
okay.
in
Well,
the
I'll
other
just I'll
room.
just read you what it's saying. Okay. So the Daily
Yeah.
Express, the piece of shit Daily Express, is saying Chief Constable rages, the police are nation's punch bag. Okay. Um,
Mm.
PM as a member of the ethnic minorities of the UK. How do you feel about that? About the police being the nation's punch bag?
I think that's very convenient for the Express to say that because they're the people that are quickly to jump on the police when the police do something a little bit naughty.
Yeah.
And it baffles me because with people like the Express, it's like one or the other. It's like yin and yang. They can never make their mind up. One minute the police are amazing, and the next minute the police are awful. So
Yeah. Well, this
how
one is
do they
saying
square that
frontline police are treated like Britain's punch bag while preserving law and order, said concerned Chief Constable John Roberts. Left. He looks like he hasn't had sex in a long time. He says officers are punched, kicked, pushed, and spat at every day, which they are. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I do understand that there's some concern about the fact that police are attacked. And I make this very clear, like, I'm not anti-police. However, there are a large number of police officers who, in my reckoning, going off the Daniel Morgan report and also, what's that new word? Anecdotal evidence. There's a few
Yeah.
people in there who are institutionally racist and institutionally corrupt. And
But
we
aren't
need to
they
call them
also?
out.
Sorry, Graham. To just to cut you off there. Aren't these the same police that the Express um, decry for painting their nails, skateboarding, and dancing?
Yes.
See what I mean?
Okay, so in other news, obviously the great news about Tom Daley winning the gold at the Olympics, which is really cool, which has got ahead pretty much behind closed doors. Unless you're a journalist, you can't go and watch live.
His speech was lovely. His speech was lovely.
Yeah, it was. It was good. Sixth consecutive drop in coronavirus cases puzzles scientists and armchair pundits like myself, I have to admit. PM gets tough on burglars. Burglars are getting it now. Police and thieves will be tracked using electronic tags, and restrictions on the use of police stop and search powers will be scrapped. Oh, okay. So basically, the restrictions on stop and search are going to be scrapped, apparently. This is going to be announced by Boris Johnson today, which is tomorrow. And yeah.
Absolute bollocks.
I love the way that the headline there is PM gets tough on burglars. And then in the first paragraph, they mention, just really quietly, kind of restrictions on the use of police stop and search powers will be scrapped. So that means that are the restrictions on the powers at the moment? Like, do they have to have sort of just cause or something?
Theresa May introduced some new regulations, but everything's just carried on as normal. It's, oh, we smell weed. Right, we're putting you over the bonnet and we're searching you. You've got no just cause. I mean, I know this has been said many, many times, but if you really want to catch people that are using drugs, just hang around down the King's Road.
Or go into Parliament. Or go to the City of London.
Yeah.
Or go to any of the public schools in the country where everyone's off their tits on cocaine. Because that is a posh...
Wasn't there a swab test done on the Houses of Parliament and it showed there was a lot of Class A drugs in there?
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yep. They're all drug heads. I mean, massive drug heads. Of course they are. I mean, like, they're rich, they're bored. They're obviously so bored they got into politics and they're prime candidates for doing cocaine. And so, yeah. If I was in
So
charge, I would
surely-
say, right, everyone, we're going to legalise drugs. And everyone will say in Parliament, oh, you can't do that. You can't legalise drugs. It's really bad. They're bad for people. I say, okay, fine. You're right. They are bad for people. And we will spend the money that we are currently spending on trying to stop, to win the war on drugs that we lost 30 years ago. 50 years ago, we're going to spend that on teaching people that drugs are bad. And if you don't vote for this entire chamber is going to have a drug test on Monday. And it's going to be one of those hair ones where they pluck out a bit of hair and they see if you've taken any cocaine recently. And then you'll see all the MPs voting to legalise drugs. Guarantee it. Bunch of fucking junkies.
Why don't they do that? Because the thing is, if we're having to test for COVID to go to mass gatherings, they're a mass gathering. Surely they should be...
testing for drugs.
And...
Should be testing for drugs, mate.
I'm just going to pluck a hair out of you, Pretty Patel. See how much off your tits you are.
I really hate Pretty Patel. Why are drugs a law/policing issue and not a medical issue, says Duke Vengeance? Because we don't live in Portugal, mate. If we lived in Portugal, they would be a medical issue. But we live in the UK, and apparently they're a law and order issue, which I don't feel like they are.
And they haven't figured out a way to tax them either.
Yeah.
That would be the thing. If you could successfully grow a coca plant in the UK, and skim stuff off, sell it, tax it, you'd be on a winner.
But what about Coca-Cola? I mean, they get coca plants from South America and they extract their flavouring for the Coca-Cola, which is why Coke always tastes different to Pepsi.
No.
And then they're told they have to burn the rest? No? Okay.
No, that's not
to be told.
That's not true.
That's me told.
Coca-Cola was originally, they used the coca plant, and that's where the term Coca
They still do. They still do. They have look it up. Honestly, I'm not lying to you. The Coca-Cola the Coca-Cola plant in Georgia, which makes all of the world's cola, right? You know, it's bottled around the world with local water, but the syrup, the post mix, that all comes from Georgia. They make it all.
I've got some here. I've got some here from my soda stream. I'm having a little butchers. Right. So where did you say it was?
It's made in Georgia, in America. Might get repackaged somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the ingredients. Make sure there's no cocaine.
It doesn't have cocaine in it. No. Look, it's like poppies. You can make opium out of poppies, or you can make heroin, or you can make other stuff. It depends how you make it.
You remind. Have you bought a onion and poppy seed bagel recently?
I don't think they exist. And so I was saying, because wasn't there a thing about they wanted to ban the sale of poppy seeds in like garden centres? Yeah, because they thought people would be making their own poppies and scarring the heads of the poppies and making the sap come out and making heroin out of it.
Right. This was years and years ago, probably 10 years ago, right? I used to love an onion and poppy seed bagel. And there was a show called Brainiac on Sky One back in the day with John Tickle and Richard Hammond.
Yeah, I remember
it. They got a vicar to eat 4 toasted poppy seed bagels. 4 toasted poppy seed and onion bagels, and made him do a drugs test the next day. And he failed it because it said opioids negligible.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. Pineapple Boy has said, never did coke, but it conjures up the Trump kids and Dominic Raab in my mind. Don't know why. Not accusing anyone. Yes.
100%.
Absolutely, mate. 100%. It's a cunt drug. It is a drug that is traded by cunts and taken by cunts. And it has a trail of blood all the way from your nose, if you do it, to Bolivia or to Colombia or to Mexico, wherever it's come from. In the same way that heroin, there's a trail of blood going all the way to Afghanistan, and it's horrific, and people fucking die to get this stuff to you.
Who's your man who got caught wearing a bra? Keith Vaz?
What's that? Oh, Keith Vaz. Yeah, didn't he get done? What was he doing?
And wearing a bra. And he made himself out to be a washing machine salesman or something.
Yeah. RC says Coca-Cola had Coke removed from it in 1929. Yeah, it hasn't had cocaine in it. The original recipe did have cocaine by John Pemberton, Dr. John Pemberton, I think his name was. He did actually have cocaine in his original recipe. But then they got rid of that and they just used they used an extract from the coca leaf that only Coca-Cola have the sole contract or whatever, the US government, that they can bring in X amount of coca leaves in order to make their Coca-Cola each year. And Pepsi and Roller Cola and anyone else who wants to make up Virgin Cola, if you remember that, they can't get their hands on those leaves. But Coke can, so that's their USP, and that's why Coke tastes a bit different to all the other colas out there. Although, Coke shat themselves in the 80s because the Pepsi challenge, more often than not, people preferred to taste the Pepsi. On a blind test, they preferred to taste the Pepsi. It was less soily, apparently.
Well, I've got a classic cola syrup for SodaStream.
Yes.
And it says genuine recognised quality since 1903.
Yes.
So I'm guessing this is the same stuff because it does actually taste exactly like Coke. Yes. Unlike like Roller Cola or Happy Shuffle Cola.
Yeah.
When you fire up the SodaStream and put that in, it tastes exactly like Coke.
Yeah. Well, when you're working at a bar, that's what you've got. You've got the post mix. You have a box of it, and then that goes through, gets mixed with water and carbon dioxide. Which you got big bottles of carbon dioxide, and you just squirt it in. That's how it works in a bar. And you'll have a box of lemonade. You'll have a box of Sprite. You'll have a box of Diet Coke or whatever.
It's also how babies are made, Graham. It's also how babies are made.
Sorry.
It's also how babies are made. You've got a little box of it and just squirt in.
I wouldn't know, mate. I wouldn't know. My kids aren't mine. There's some other fuckers. Do you know what I mean? I'm just looking after them because I'm a nice guy. until they piss me off too much, and then I walk away and say, "Not my monkeys, not my circus." I don't do that.
You're like that meme. Fuck this shit, I'm going home.
Fuck this shit, I'm going home. Got a message from Snowy Adams here. What else has Gove been up to lately? There's rumours on Twitter. Yes, there are rumours on Twitter about Michael Gove at the moment. So where is he? Because he's splitting up with his wife, Sarah Vine. And do they have children? I mean, they must look like fucking gargoyles. Jesus Christ. Those kids must look like they're falling out the ugly tree and hit every fucking twig on the way down.
They must look like limping swamp donkeys.
Poor bastards.
I guarantee, like, if this is the case, if this is Michael Gove, like, splitting from his missus, who's a Daily Mail columnist, I guarantee that if it goes the way that I think it's going to go, he will be the most revolutionary libertarian lefty.
Who?
And be like, oh no, I didn't mean it. Michael Gove.
Michael Gove? You think he's going to be a libertarian? Hang on, he can't be a libertarian and lefty. Libertarians are right wingers.
No.
They're rich cunts who don't want to pay fucking tax.
No, as in he's going to be all like, oh, I was so wrong, and we should all be doing this, and free speech for everyone, and I guarantee.
RC has just chipped in to say the coca leaf is not processed into Coke, so just the leaf flavour is left. That's right. But Coca-Cola could make cocaine because they've got all those leaves. They just take the flavouring out, but not the cocaine. So when you say you can't make any money out of it, they could make money out of it. They could make shitloads of money out of it.
Yeah,
it's not like people don't want it.
Are. Look at the fucking Contras and all the shit that happened in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're definitely fucking involved in that.
Oh well, I that people might think that, but I couldn't possibly comment because obviously you might get sued by Coca-Cola for so, implying they were somehow involved in the Iran Contra scandal. Just want to put a little bit
all of my
under advisement here. But that's not what we're saying. We're just saying, Things happened, and some people made a lot of money out of it. They made a shitload of money out of it.
Yeah.
Duke Vengeance was no, was it Pooh? Pooh says Pooh X says in a blind test, people do not choose Heinz baked beans, but if you ask, they say they prefer it. Big shout out to adverts and big budgets. Yeah, indeed. It is true that if you do a blind taste test, although my ex-girlfriend, my Australian girlfriend, she could tell the difference between Vegemite and Marmite, which I cannot do. I don't have the capacity.
Really?
Yeah, she could tell the difference.
I can do that all day long.
You can tell the difference.
Heinz baked beans, I can tell. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Wow. You have more developed taste buds than I, sir. I tip my hat to you. Literally, I'm wearing a hat, so I just tipped it.
I'm a wine connoisseur. I know my palate is very evolved.
Oh, God. You Southerners are all the same, aren't you? Just saying. What?
That's a deep cut.
Is it? Really?
That's a deep cut. Yeah. Does that mean saying all you scouts are all the same? Where's my car stereo?
Oh, mate, that is a low blow. We haven't robbed people's car stereos for years. You can't get them out anymore because they're embedded in the dashboard.
Exactly. It's just got too hard.
Yeah, it's got too difficult. Hang on, we haven't finished the papers yet. Back to the papers. Okay, we'll go back to the messages in a moment.
Yeah.
Don't forget, UK has a massive cannabis farming. Theresa May's husband makes a pretty penny out of it. That's very true. Medicinal cannabis. Why isn't it legal? No one can die. I mean, I understand you can die of an overdose of cocaine and heroin, which obviously River Phoenix did. I don't know anyone who's ever died of a cannabis overdose. Have you ever heard of this happening, Wayne? You know, have you got any anecdata about a cannabis? And look, cards on the table. I know people have been really fucked up by cannabis, and I'm talking about episodes of psychosis caused by heavy use of cannabis. And I don't think that cannabis is this friendly, awesome, amazing drug that just wants to hold your hand and cleans your lungs somehow. I don't believe that, but however, I do believe that in certain medical situations, it's good for people, the CBD, and I mean, people enjoy it in the same way people enjoy alcohol, which is bad for you. It fucks your liver. But as long as you're not hurting anyone else and not forcing me to smell your disgusting smoke,
whoa,
I'm not that arsed.
Whoa. Alcohol fucks your liver. No one told me.
Oh mate, I've got some bad news. For you, mate. It fucks your liver. It fucks it.
I'm gonna put this wine down.
Oh no, you big wine connoisseur. So do you know your claret from your Beaujolais?
Oh, what song's that from? Mate.
I know what song it's from.
Beaujolais. Is that Country House?
No, you're very close. Same album, different song. Right band, wrong song.
Oh. Oh, you have to give me the song. I know it's Blur.
The Charmless Man by Blur.
Charmless Man, of course it is.
Yes.
Oh, of course it is.
The video of which was filmed in the 9X, which is now the Manchester Evening News Arena. The 9X in Manchester. And the Blur played 2 nights there. And I had a ticket for the first night because I'm a proper fan. I was. Well, still am. And they filmed it on the second night and it pissed us all off because we were like, but that was all the Johnny Come Latelys that day. That were there. But we were all there watching it on the chart show on Saturday morning. Like, going, we in the crowd, we in the crowd. Because that was the gig where Damon Albarn got me on stage because I was wearing an Oasis t-shirt. I was only 16. It was great.
Wow.
Fucking great. On stage, Damon Albarn, Oasis t-shirt. Fuck yeah. So that happened.
I think if that happened today, you could probably have a claim up.
A what? A claim?
He exploited me. Yeah, he exploited me for my t-shirt.
Yeah, he just wanted me for me fucking t-shirt. The funny thing was, it wasn't even a proper fucking Oasis t-shirt. I just bought it outside. You know, like they have the proper stuff inside. You know, the proper merchandise, which is like 15 fucking quid.
Yeah.
And then you go outside and there's some guy selling t-shirts for £5. So it was one of those cheap, shitty Oasis £5 t-shirts. It was like a bad print of the cover of Morning Glory or something. Anyway, right, can we go back to the papers?
Go on,
Yeah, the ridiculously off topic here. I just want to point out the Mirror's just come up while we've been chatting away. It came up about 10 minutes ago. And here we have, will Wayne ever learn? And he's in a nightclub. And there's a woman and she's got no top on.
Whoa.
Wayne Rooney. Not you, Wayne. Not you, Wayne. Don't worry. Different Wayne. Wayne Rooney. And also, it's got Pool's Gold. Little bit of a Stone Roses reference there. And that's about the winning stuff. Oh, now I'm getting an advert. I'm putting someone else's advert on my bloody show. That kind of annoys me. Go back. Right. That's what happens when I accidentally click on things. Okay, so PM gets stuff on burglars. We did that one. Strain on hospitals. This is interesting. Strain on hospitals now equal to the peak of COVID. This is the Independent, which I don't think you can buy anymore. I think it only exists in electronic form. Ministers have been warned the health service under similar levels of pressure as during the height of the pandemic in January, as rising COVID-19 admissions take their toll. This is weird. So one paper is saying, oh, the number of cases are going down, and then another paper is basically saying, the NHS is fucked. The numbers of COVID patients rising to more than 5,000 in England since the first time in March. What do you feel about the whole sort of social Darwinism, or I called it scrotal Darwinism, of these people who don't get vaccinated and are now dying as a result that they didn't get vaccinated? Do you think we should do something about it? I mean, do you feel morally obliged to sort of... I don't know, what can you do?
Well,
you can't force them to have a jab, can you?
No, but you can coerce them.
Coerce them? Go on, how would you coerce them?
Yeah.
By saying they can't go on holiday, they can't go to nightclubs, they can't...
Yes.
What's the gammon like doing?
There you go.
They can't vote for UKIP unless they've had the jab.
Yeah.
That'll work.
But the thing is, I've been double stabbed, so I don't really give a monkeys about it. I did it purely because I want to be... So obviously, the nature of my job, I'm going to different people's houses every single day, and I have been since the start of the pandemic. I've been to thousands of people's houses, pre being stabbed and post being stabbed. But I think that the people that are... I made a comment on this on another show that I'm quite active with, and one of the hosts said the people that are not being jabbed or vaccinated are to blame for any stall in any reopening. I'm like, yeah, but you can't treat them as a monolith. You can't just say people are not getting vaccinated because they're anti-vaxxers. You can't say that, because my girlfriend couldn't have a particular jab because she was breastfeeding, but she could have another. So her jab was delayed. So we can't look at people that have not been vaccinated as a monolith and say they're selfish, they're this, they're that, because people are not being vaccinated for a plethora.
But there are people who are immunosuppressed, aren't they? And they can't get it.
Yeah.
And then it's that thing of like, we're not shielding the vulnerable because there are vulnerable people out there who can't be vaccinated. Roger King says gammons love spoons, so maybe you could have a rule that says you can't go to the pub unless you've been double vaccinated and you can prove it. Jason J says once everyone who wants the jab has had it, throw the rest of the wolves. Why should we care about them? The variants are going to happen anyway. I'm a little bit on Jason J's side here. I'm thinking these fuckers like Julia Hartless-Brewer and Loser Fox and Piers Corbyn. I'm happy to throw them to the wolves or fire them into the sun. I mean, one of the two. I'm not talking about the newspaper.
No, but Graham, this is where I feel that the lumping in is a problem. So we can't put the people like my good lady in with the Julia Hartley-Brewers and that Lawrence cunt. We can't put them in. And what seems to be happening is we seem to be sort of like amalgamating them all into this one amorphous blob of people and saying these are all wrong uns. We can't be doing that. What we need to be doing is saying, why have you not got the jab? Oh, this is the reason, and this is the reason. Okay, Joe, that's a fair shout.
Yeah.
You know? So, for instance, like my girlfriend, she can't have Oxford AstraZeneca. She's breastfeeding. Okay, fair enough.
Well,
but you might have someone sniping from the side.
Yeah, my girlfriend couldn't have the AstraZeneca one because she had a blood clot related issue when she was a child, and it was just chance that she brought it up because her parents reminded her that she had it. She completely forgot, and she brought it up when she was going to get her AstraZeneca jab, and they said to her, "No, you better not have it. Have the wait and get the Pfizer one." And the way things turned out, she got done like pretty much the same at the same point that I did, just with the difference. Thing, and I shot a brick the other day when they said, "Oh, they weren't gonna be accepting the Indian-made AstraZeneca jab. They wouldn't be accepting them in Europe." And I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Because I'm changing planes.
No.
When I go to Ginger Island, I'm changing planes. But apparently, the one that I've got is not the Indian-made one. It was made in Europe. So
I didn't even know that until I was speaking. I can't remember who I was speaking to. They said, "Oh yeah, because my vaccine was manufactured in India, then France are not accepting it." And I was like, "What?" And I had to go to my wallet, get my little card out, and check my numbers. And it's like, no, one was made in India and one was made somewhere else. I don't know. I didn't really understand it. I was like, "Oh, I'm fine. Fuck it, I don't care." But then when I googled it, it was only like France. Everyone else was like, "Yeah, fuck it, you're all right. You can come in. Have it up. It's fine." And I just didn't realise that they were. Oh, again, separate sovereign nations of the EU making their own rules up.
How dare they? How bloody dare they?
Yeah.
But RC has come back, and I think this is a response to what Jason Jays said. It's true, some people cannot have the vaccine for medical reasons. That's why the COVIDiots are highly irresponsible. And so, I there's a part of me that just thinks, fuck them, these COVIDiots. And I guarantee that Lawrence Fox, Piers Corbyn, and Julia Hartless-Brewer have all had the fucking jab. They all have. They don't practice what they preach. They've had it.
100%.
You know,
all of Fox News frontline have been done.
They don't give a fuck because they're in it for the money. That's all they're in it for. The money and the adulation.
I'm telling you now that all of TalkSport and all of Talk Radio presenters have had their jabs.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. You know, I have sources that
HP.
I have sources that
mayonnaise
work in both of those particular buildings that state that you have to have it before you can even enter the building. Very, very good sources.
So Lee Corn's thrown in a £5 super chat. So thank you, Lee. You're awesome person. One of wife's colleagues won't get the jab because a friend got a blood clot in a bad way in hospital. I don't know if I'd react any differently. The number of blood clots that people who have had the jab have had isn't statistically any different from the number of people who just get blood clots anyway. But I feel like if you were at risk of getting a blood clot, then fair enough, don't get the AstraZeneca one, get the Pfizer one. That's a good excuse. And obviously this is the kind of thing that puts the shits up people because they're kind of like, oh my God, you know, I'm doing something to my body and I don't know what the result of it is going to be. But at the same time, I do find it a bit rich when, you know, I don't know anyone who hasn't at some point in their fucking life put something into their body and not been entirely sure what it was going to do or the effect that it was going to have on them, but just trusted that that'd be all right. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I would always, when it comes to that kind of thing, I would ask people to cite how the vaccines that they've had as a child have affected them, and the vaccines that they've given had administered to their children have worked out. Because the thing is, we entrust the people that are our doctors and physicians to do these procedures on our behalf. We've all been stabbed with numerous alien entities into our bloodstream to protect us. We trust them for that, but all of a sudden, now we don't. But
well, yeah, that's an argument I make quite regularly when I deal with anti-vaxxers. I say, and we've got to be very clear here, we're talking about people who choose not to take the vaccine because they're wankers. And we're not talking about people who are immune suppressed or they're getting cancer treatment or there is a good reason why they can't get the jab. Yeah. And I say, well, what about Medicine Sans Frontières? You know, Doctors Without Borders. They go out into the jungles of fucking Congo and they risk their lives walking through these villages and stuff to deliver vaccines for children. And what the fuck? Do the people think that they're doing all this because they're evil and they want to give children growing up in Eastern, like Democratic Republic of Congo, they want to get them learning difficulties? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what?
Yeah.
Do all the pediatricians in the world just in on it?
if you want to go heavyweight on it, Graham, right? Just say to people, if you get into a scuffle with a crackhead and they bite you, and then when you get taken to hospital, they say, we're going to give you this anti-HIV and anti-tetanus, are you going to go, whoa,
no, I don't know what it is. I need to know the ingredients, even though I don't know how they work together because I don't have a degree in immunobiology. I was just stopped to say Alexander Campbell has just dropped in a 5 on the super chats. Thank you very much, Alexander. You rock. COVID-idiots protesting COVID-19 restrictions in London after restrictions have been lifted. Says it all. Why is this vaccine different from the others? There's a lot of people who are concerned about the fact that this vaccine seems to have been rushed through because other vaccines take years, decades to develop.
It's not. It's a hybrid vaccine.
Yes. So it's built on the building blocks of vaccines that already exist. And plus, oh my God, the amount of money that was just thrown at these scientists to say, sort it out, is the kind of money that has never been thrown at any malaria scientists or any dengue fever or West Nile virus or elephantitis or, you know those... You know those diseases that you only really get in developing countries? Yeah, they never see this kind of money because this disease was affecting, I'm going to say it, white people in the West. And they were like, fuck, we need to get this sorted as soon as possible. And if you throw a load of money at it, then it gets sorted.
I would pull back from that. I would pull back from that. I would say it's affecting economics of the West.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a better way of putting it. Don't need to bring the racial dimension into it then. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's just an economic thing of the West.
And we're losing money! Just consider the children. Exactly. Oh. Someone's seeing the bank balance of like a major FTSE 100 company going down and they're like, oh, the humanity! Yeah, those types.
This is a great time to bring up. I know you're on air at the minute. A little crossover thing. Me and my guys from the bin.
Yeah. Bin podcast every Thursday at 8:30. Check it out.
Yeah, well, it's meant to be 8, but it's normally 8:30. We would like to propose a little crossover thing with you and your show, where me and you do a UK-based news show, but we put it on both of our platforms.
Yeah, I'm up for
because
that.
the thing is, a lot of our stuff is like American centric, and I provide the UK element of it. Jartown obviously provides the Scandinavian and European element, and I just think it'd be good to sort of like, you know, just cross pollinate with all of our fields of expertise, i.e., bullshit. And,
Yes. I'm always happy to be
and
cross-pollinated like a beautiful orchid.
yeah,
That came out wrong.
the thing is, I think it'd be great for your audience to be exposed to American
You want
and
to
Scandinavian
expose yourself to my
audience.
ondience. I don't know how my audience will feel about that, but okay. You never know. It's getting late
Well,
on
yeah, if
YouTube.
there's OnlyFans.
Only fans. Welcome to the Ginger Island OnlyFans, featuring me and Wayne in Basildon and Marcus in all shorts in mankinis, sweating like bastards on a tropical island. Tune in every Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. No, when is it? Thursday at 8. But really, it's 8:30 by the time we get all our shit together. Yeah, I'm up for that. I'm up for that. Like I said, I've been trying to say the whole show. I'm actually going up to Scotland again on Wednesday, and I'll be in Scotland right through until Sunday then. And so I'll try and do my shows. I'll try and do my normal shows, but I'll see what I can do. But I'll be taking me green curtain with me, so hopefully I'll be able to do a little impromptu green background in the Airbnb.
Right now, if anyone can see me right now, I'm doing a massive wink when Graham said green curtain.
What do you mean? I mean, for the backdrop, so it looks like I'm not just in a room.
Yeah. Okay.
I should make it a bit more exciting. Should I get one of the animated ones with like twinkling lights and things, so it looks like a little boat going up and down the Mersey? It's like a little ferry across the Mersey thing going.
So I said to Kerry earlier, and because where I do when I film, I'm in the kitchen. I said I need to get like a room divider or something so she can still use the kitchen around me when I'm doing the show.
Yeah, and, that would help. Stop being so selfish, Wayne.
Using the entire kitchen. Why don't you just hang Sienna's green screen up? I went, this is the middle of the room. Where am I supposed to hang it? So I screen to hang the green screen on. So
well, you can get sort of circular. You can get sort of circular green screens, can't you? That like pop out, and they're really hard to get back in. But yeah, you can get them, and you get a clamp, and you just clamp on, and it just circles you. As long as you don't move around too much, and then you can just key out the rest of the area. RC wants to know if we said beef curtains. RC, calm yourself. We didn't say beef curtains. Beef curtains for you, mate.
You're looking at a green. You're in the wrong place.
Lee Corn, as long as you have picture of the Glasgow skyline. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll get me picture of the Glasgow skyline. From Wednesday. I don't know what do you reckon I should do? Should you reckon I should do a show during the day on Wednesday and then on the evening I could just
Graham, what you should do in the evening, do a show from Glasgow but show the Edinburgh skyline.
That would be culturally insensitive. I'm not going to do that. Right, can we finish the papers? Because bloody hell, it's nearly 11:45 and we haven't even finished the papers yet. So let me just go on to what have we got here? We got the Times up. The PM gets touched with burglars, done that. Strain on hospitals now peak, and this is a lovely picture in the Guardian here. If you can see, this is Tom Daly when he won gold today, with tears in his eyes. Like I'm proud to say, I am a gay man and also an Olympic champion, and bloody good luck to him. I think that's fantastic what he's achieved. The Star over here has got a vaccine knocker shocker on page 5. We read all about that if you want to buy the Star for 55p. Dracula biters and some pictures of flies for some reason, and golden wonders.
Graham,
yeah?
Graham, I've got to stop you. What you mean? The Daily Star have got a picture of Jordan in the front.
No, they just got They just literally got a pair of boobs, a pair of mammary glands, a pair of breasts, in some kind of wonder bra, which, as I said the other day, Abracadabra was available, and I don't know why they didn't take it, but whatever. And this is Raiders of the Lost Park. Can someone please give Harrison Ford a call? Don't know why he's really old. Don't make any more Indiana Jones films, please. Holy Grail and Ark of Covenant hidden under crumbling country estate in Burton-on-Trent. So apparently there's all treasures. Oh God, whatever. Fucking God, the star's just ridiculous. The Daily Telegraph is pushing Magic Monday. Obviously, it's got a flag on there because flag shackers. Freed burglars to 24-hour tags. So this is about tagging burglars, and also again not mentioning the stop and search powers that are going to be embellished by this new government. Sorry, not new. They've been around for 11 years. And also, what we have here is over half of COVID hospital tests. Over half of COVID hospital cases test positive after admission. Which is a bit scary. And don't rinse dishes to be squeaky clean on the environment. There's another story there. Sounds a bit bollocks, but there you go. Don't rinse your dishes. Just leave the soap on them. The Metro there with golden balls because Tom Daly's crying, so it's a pun. And there's something interesting here in the Financial Times. I'm not going to start a big conversation on it because I can't be asked. But basically, it's what I've been saying for a long time. Crypto has no inherent worth. But it's good to trade. It's good to trade because basically it's like gambling. It's like gambling. So yeah, Wayne, are you still there?
Yeah, mate, crypto is a nonsense.
It's gambling, mate. It's gambling. Gambling's not a nonsense. I know loads of people have made loads of money from gambling. I know people who have lost loads of money, but I know people who have won loads of money from gambling. But generally speaking, apart from a few dead horses and, I don't know, some football hooligans, I don't think like betting on sporting events is actually damaging the environment. And then again, Qatar 2022. Yeah. But apart from that, I don't think they're damaging the environment as much as cryptocurrencies are damaging the environment because we've got all these processors running 24 hours a day with mining cryptocurrency, which is just destroying the planet. For no reason other than to make people an extra $5.
It's all a load of bollocks, right? Now,
yes.
In my Paddy Power account, I've got £1.74.
Well done.
I know what that means. No, I know what that means.
What does that mean?
If I withdraw £1.74, I'll get £1.74.
Yeah.
If I've got £1.74 worth of Bitcoin, I don't know what the fuck that means.
Oh, it means you're a multi-millionaire, mate. Probably, possibly. I don't know. Try going to a bank and taking out a loan against it.
Well, apparently...
I have won 16,000th of a Bitcoin. Quick, lend me some money and I'll buy a house.
There is a Bitcoin cash point in Croydon.
That's pretty cool. I was just reading... sorry, I got distracted then because someone pointed out that on the front cover of the Financial Times, I'm trying to find it. They're saying that to the left of the Financial Times, there's Shadow Chancellor vows to fix gaps in Brexit deal, which is interesting. Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't even fucking see that.
I'll get 13p off my bottle of wine that comes from Europe.
Yay! But yeah, I'll just bring that up on the screen so you can show what we're talking about here. In fact, if I just click on that, I can get a good click to enlarge. Right, let's do this and possibly you can read it.
Easy, Graham. Click to enlarge.
Click to enlarge. Shadow Chancellor. Sorry, the quality of this is quite bad. I thought that it would actually be like a PDF or something and get bigger and it would look all right. Shadow Chancellor vows to fix gaps in Brexit deal. Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves has said the Labour Party will work with the EU to fix gaps in Boris Johnson's Brexit deal, as she has accused the Prime Minister of having a blind spot when it came to improving relations with Brussels. She said Labour would focus on boosting exports to the bloc. The party was also likely to oppose Johnson's idea of tackling social care funding through a rise in national insurance contributions, she added. Which is fair enough. I mean, it's not like the Financial Times has really the juicy stuff. We'll leave that to the Star. But, Labour might actually be mentioning the B word, which is quite, I don't know, overdue.
How do you feel? How do you feel Labour claw their way back into contention? Because I feel Keir Starmer is the right guy for the job, but I think that there needs to be some sort of press sabotage to unseat Johnson, because I think there is too much.
I think that Labour need to, whoever they have in charge of their social media, they need to sack them and get someone who knows what they're fucking doing and sort the shit out, so they have a live show every day, like what I do, like what what other YouTubers do. Have to on Labour channel, have a proper studio set up, have a presenter, have a couple of presenters, and have politicians in every day. They tell the MPs, right, you're going to be on Thursday the 13th, come on, you'll be in the show, and they talk about the politics of the day, and that's something that I can't believe that Labour don't do at the moment, because they could be getting into people's living rooms without having to pay for a broadcast license like GBBs or one of those twat fucking networks, but they could be on everyone's phone and everyone's living room and everyone's laptop if they want to watch it and put out good stuff, entertaining stuff. Like Byline TV, that kind of stuff.
Do you think they're scared of it?
Holy elite cludge, Graham's back, says Jim Bob. G'day, mate. I don't know. Yeah, they're probably a bunch of old farts who don't really get technology. But I mean, I don't think that I'm some fucking whiz kid or nothing.
No, but I'll tell you for why. Because I watch Jen Psaki dealing with Peter Doocy in the White House press conferences. And she just says, okay, well, where's your data? You come up with a question, where's your data?
Yeah.
And if we had that kind of setup, or someone who had that kind of nous, who said, okay, well, this is the speculation that you're bringing to me as a question, and I'm going to rebut it with, okay, well, where do you get that from? And they go,
well, we've got a great message down here from Derek McCall saying Labour need to say what they stand for, get social media right, and mercilessly take the piss out of the PM at every opportunity. Being made fun of
100%
gets him off script 100%. Fast, which is usually good. Yeah, Derek, 100%. If I could give you a super chat, I would, but it doesn't work that way. The Lincoln Project is a good example of how to do it right, says Lee Corn. There's actually in the UK there's the Churchill Project, which is a little rip off of the Lincoln Project, but trying to do sort of the same thing.
I'll be a bit dubious about that.
Yeah. RC says Labour is still chasing those red wall racists. Pathetic. Forget them. Target Remainers instead. Absolutely 100% behind you there, RC.
Can I just say that there's a lot of racists out there. There's a lot of sly racists out there that,
we don't need them.
Right.
We don't need them. We don't need them to win an election. Even if they were in the majority, we wouldn't need them to win an election. You only need 40%.
What I'm saying is,
that's all you need.
People. No, but Graham, I'm being serious, man. As a geezer who is a brown bloke who lives in Basildon, there's a lot of racist people that I even know. I know personally that are pals, friends, acquaintances that have racist tendencies, and there's a lot of there's a lot of people out there that are like, a bit like, well, nah, here let the blacks in, or here let the Muslims in, or here let the, the Turkish in.
The black Muslims.
Yeah, the
Black
black
Chinese,
Muslims.
Polish Muslims coming over
Exactly.
here, doing our jobs.
There's a lot, and the thing is, it's when see, I thought I had this weird kind of, the cloak of invisibility that
Harry Potter has.
Frodo Baggins has.
Frodo Bank. I've got one. Can I get my Frodo back? No, it's not. Oh, you're talking about the one that looks like a rock that was given him by the elves.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about Harry Potter. I've got. Can I get out my cloak of invisibility? I think I've got it in one of these drawers. Just one second. Just wait. You can talk. You can actually talk now, and I won't be able to hear what you're saying. Okay. So you can say what you like. In fact, just plug the bin podcast for 30 seconds. Okay, go on, do it.
Okay. So if anyone wants to tune into the rest of me and my ilk's musings, we go live on YouTube and for the other fucking thing. I forgot it. But anyway, so yeah, we go live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, 8 o'clock UK time, prime meridian time. But we sync up with our friends in Scandinavia at Central European time, which is 9 o'clock their time, and Chicago, which is 2 p.m. their time, and Brenner in Orange County, which is midday their time. And we bring all of our thoughts together, and we talk about all of the world's news that's going on that day, and we chuck it in a bin, which is why it's called the Bin Podcast, which stands for Be Informed Now. And we regurgitate our opinions, and we bounce off each other. We have rows with each other. We agree with each other, and that's the beauty of the democratic way that we podcast. We love to just hear each other's opinions, see what's going on in the world, because the thing is, we only get each other's news. So I'll get news from the UK. Jartan will get news from Sweden, which we don't hear about over here because we're such fucking Anglophiles. And then again, America, they only get their news. So we try and share it, bring it all together, and then sometimes we have a laugh. Other times we just have rows. It's fantastic. So yeah, that's the Bin Podcast, Thursdays, 8 p.m, Twitch, YouTube, Facebooks. There you go. Great.
Cheers for that, Wayne. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? I've actually put my invisibility cloak around me, and now it's just like my disembodied head floating around, much like Holly in Red Dwarf. This is quite fun, actually. Yeah, hello. Oh, my hands just appeared now from under the cloak. You should pick this up on YouTube. It's quite funny to watch. I think it's quite funny. I'm going to check the comments now. They'll be like, Graham, stop dicking around. This is a serious show about serious people. Gossamer Graham.
The thing is, mate, because I'm calling you, I'm on WhatsApp right now, so I'm going to have to get an iPad and tune into the show to see what's going on. It's fucking pathetic. Hang on.
Oh my god! I'm showing a bit of me. I shouldn't have worn a blue top today. There you go. Right. So this is the disembodied head of Graham.
Your tallywhacker.
Well, you call that tallywhacker? Oi! Stop that. It's Max Headroom, Gossamer Graham. People are talking about Ernie Burns says the Lincoln Project are grifters. The figures don't back up. They really made a difference. Well, at least they tried. But they were all old Republicans, weren't they? So they're probably twat bags to start with. But, they put out some good videos, which I shared. Lincoln Project made millions for its anti-Trump Republicans, siphoning off centralist Democrat money, and did little for the actual Democratic platform. Okay. Jim Bob saying the same as Ernie here, but not feeling much love to the Lincoln Project. Can I just read quickly, because it's nearly midnight, so we're going to have to go in a minute. Can I just read quickly? This is from This is from CNN.
Oh, where's that arm come from? Where's that arm come from?
You're watching now. This is this. I'm gonna read. What Trump said. This is like today. The county has, for whatever reason, also refused to produce the network routers. We want the routers. I think he probably said routers because he's American, but let's say routers because we're British. Sonny, Wendy, get those routers, please. The routers, come on. Kelly, we can get those routers. Those routers. You know what? We're so beyond routers. There's so many fraudulent votes without the routers. But you can get those routers, but that will show. And they don't want to give up the routers. They don't want to give to them. They're fighting like hell. Why are these commissioners fighting not to give the routers? Now, I don't know if you were paying attention in Shakespeare class, but in Shakespeare, when a character starts repeating themselves, it's a sign of a descent into madness. So what do you think of that quote from Trump today about the routers?
Well, firstly, mate, I thought you was a futuristic big issue seller.
What? What? What?
I can see the cloak. You ain't fooling anyone.
Oh, mate, come on. It's got creases in it. If I take the creases out, I can... I mean, the thing is, it's only camouflage if you're not moving or whatever.
No, you need
that's
to
pretty
filter
good.
out. Your filter's,
That's
no,
pretty
your filter's
good.
not high enough.
What? Oh, mate.
You need to up your filter.
I won't bother in future. Well, anyway, that's my green screen. That's my... I bought that in Abercorn in Liverpool. Went to the fabric shop. I was like, "We got the green fabric," and they went, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then my mum stitched it together for me because she's awesome. True story. Wayne doesn't care. Right, Wayne, listen. It's midnight. It's the witching hour. We're gonna have to go.
It is. Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Yes, let's wrap it up. Saw Norman Lovett live at the Edinburgh Festival back in 1995. And also, it was at the show he called it I Love It, which is brilliant because everyone was like iPhone and I Claudius and I Robot, and he called it I Love It because he's called Norman Lovett. That's the guy who played Holly in Red Dwarf, the original guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Brummy. You know, Red Dwarf?
Yeah, no, I remember him.
TV show?
With a dark hair, miserable git.
No, he didn't have dark. He didn't have any hair. He was bald. He was bald. Holly. The guy played Holly. Oh. Anyway.
Dark hair?
No, he had no hair. He was bald. He was bald.
Nah.
Yes.
He had dark hair on the sides, I'm sure.
Pretty sure it's bald. Anyway, you can tell us in the tooting routers, says Patrick. RC, too many on the far left, more worried about George Soros than Trump. That's some privilege. Yeah, well, don't get me started on the far left. Shegzak 32 routers have been useless for tracking internet users since the web went HTTPS stroke SNI 5 years ago. DOH 3 years ago. Well, yeah, indeed. Jimbot Robot says, I suggest the grift would be better aimed at centralists of both parties who dislike Trump. No point in talking to his MAGA base. Well, there's no point in talking that. Who's on the call, says Glasgow Kiss. It's Wayne in Basildon. Hello, Wayne. Listen, we've got to go.
Hello, Glasgow.
We've got to wrap it up. So, Pineapple Boy says person, woman, man, camera, TV, router. Okay, on that, I think we should call it a night, and I'll be back tomorrow, 10 o'clock. I don't want to rain on Max's parade, so if you're watching Max's stream tomorrow, feel free. But I will be here tomorrow at 10 o'clock doing this, and if you want to call me like Wayne has, you're very welcome to.
Graham, thanks for having me, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I'll might see you tomorrow. You never know.
All right, mate.
Could happen. All right, take care, mate. Night.
Bye, mate.
Okay, so that's Wayne gone. Right. All right, okay. Yeah, fatting about with stuff. didn't really get to talk about the environment that much. Maybe I'll say that for tomorrow. Woohoo! Back tomorrow. Yes, I'll be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Patreon, says Lee Corn. Yes, if you want to support me on Patreon, head over to patreon.com/thatgingerscouser. Discord or bed, says Pineapple Boy. Discord, obviously. Come on. Let's be sensible here. I will get up a Discord link for you. If you haven't been on Discord before, feel free to join us on Discord. You just have to follow this link. We'll be having a chat after the show about what we're talking about. I don't know, architecture, the vaccines, and Boris Johnson being an almighty cunt. All that kind of stuff. We'll be talking about it. So all you need to do is lick the button. Lick the like button before you go. No, you need to just follow this link, which is the Rejoin EU Discord server link, which is tremendously exciting, right? And if I just this link will self-destruct after 6 hours, so please don't try and use it tomorrow. It will not work. It won't work. Okay, so that is there. There. This link will expire in 6 hours, like in Mission Impossible. And yeah, that's it. I think for me today, it's come up on the screen there. I don't know if it's come up on my YouTube chat. YouTube. There you go. Thank you, YouTube. Right. Okay. So thank you very, very much for watching. I will leave you a list of my wonderful patrons and YouTube members. If you would like to become one yourself, just hit the join button beneath this video. Or if you're feeling fruity, head over to patreon.com/thatgingerscouser. Right. I will be heading over to Discord now. And tomorrow I'll be back at 10 o'clock for another round of Hughes at 10. Until then, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.